Watcher of Realms has a plethora of amazing and very questionable people. Yeah, see, we're using fancy words now. However, some of them are outright cheesy, right? And today we're gonna get into them. The best of each rarity, the most cheesy, the cheesiest unit of each rarity we are gonna get into. I am Shadow the First, and without further ado, let's get right into it. So first, we have the commons, and out of them, we have only 4 common units in the game. We have Lancer, we have Gale,
I'm ready for this!
We have Josh, and finally, we have the cheesiest of them all, Lilia. Now, why do you think Lilia is cheesy? Firstly, Lilia is the best grey unit in my opinion. Grey, common, doesn't matter, right? However, not only is she the best, but she's actually one of the most ideal units for a very specific strat, and I will show you in a sec. But what makes her even good, like slightly remotely good? First things first, she has only 2 skills. A basic attack that sucks because her stats suck just like every other common, but the ultimate, an auto ultimate that is instantaneous, and it is a 600 rage ultimate that gives you 6 cost. That's nothing crazy, right? We have Narvi that you almost have immediately right off the bat, and Narvi gives you like 10-12 cost, I don't really know, and also gives you inspiration, and it's just overall a better unit. However, right, there's also a second silver lining to her, and that is this. Look at this, 2 block but 8 cost. 8 cost. That is the same as the first deployment of Cyrus, and almost as low as Aatrox, right? She is dirt cheap. And you may say, why do you need a fighter that's dirt cheap? That if they can't do anything, then what's the point? No. You see, for cycling the Gear Ray 2 boss, a strat that I used in my healer-less Gear Ray 2 guide video, go ahead and check it out. What I do, personally, is grab a bunch of cheap fighters. I use Cyrus and Lilia, and simply because she's dirt as hell, right? Because if you think about it, Cerberus, after a while, is going to be just a lot of respawn time, and also, he's going to be 17 cost. The first deployment is cheap. But she has 2 block, just like every other fighter. I thought she was going to have 1 block. She's, in fact, so cheap that if you had an infinite line of Lilia and you started off with only 8 costs and you had to infinitely block the boss, you can actually do it because you get more than 4 costs per basic attack that the boss does, meaning that you can infinitely stall the boss with an infinite line of Lilia without running out of cost. That is absolutely bonkers. And you may say, okay, she sucks as a unit. Yeah. This is not the point that she's gonna tank, or she's not even gonna, like, for example, deal damage. She's just gonna stall the boss. And if you're gonna use Ares or her, it doesn't matter. Both of them are gonna get 1 shot, and you're gonna and for both of them, you're gonna pick them up. For Ares, you're gonna lose 13 cost every deployment, because refund, you only get refund at half the cost. For her, you're losing 4. That she literally gets it back by the time the boss attacks again, meaning that she not only gives you cost, but she also blocks the boss amazingly, like you actually see in my strategy. That's not to make it, for example, let's say, oh, look at this, I'm using a grey unit because of how easy it is. I could do it. I could literally in that video say, I'm using a great unit because of how simple this is. No, it's not simple. She's just that good. And I mean, the cost regen, you may say, okay, just use Narvi at the start of the game. I didn't have Narvi, and I didn't want to pull until the banner, so I just had to roll with this, and she actually carried me through like 2-3 stages of the promotion of the insignia of fighters. So she's actually has uses for her ultimate. Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the cheesiest of them all? Of course, it is King Liam. Oh my god, he is amazing. You can separate the community into 2 groups. Those who know what Liam does, and those who don't. Those who know what Liam does, this just makes sense, right? The best and the cheesiest uncommon unit, and not only that, the cheesiest unit in the entire game itself. And those who don't, let me enlighten you, because this is gonna change your worldview. Liam is a funny man, and you may question, if Liam is such a good guy, if he's so cheesy, then why is he level 12 and 2 promotions for you? And that's when I laugh, and you're gonna be confused, because Liam's level 12 comes from his participation in fights. I never leveled up Liam. This is just his participation that he leveled up from completing stages. That's how many units, how many fights he's been. Plus 500, I can tell you that he's been through 500, at least 500 fights, right? And you see these 2 promotions, that's important, right? We're gonna get to that. Liam is a star piercer, that's gonna be important too. But from his kit, his basic attack doesn't do anything crazy. It's just a basic attack that sucks because he's an uncommon unit. His stats suck. The important part is his ultimate. Auto 300. So his ultimate is dirt cheap. You don't need to upgrade it. You cannot upgrade it. Basically, you cannot upgrade green units. Attack increases by 25%. Who cares? Nobody. While basic attack hits 2 more targets. That's important. And inflicts neurotoxin on hit. Now this is the funny part. Neurotoxin deals continuous true damage equal to 1% of the target's maximum HP per second, stacking up to 3 times. Neurotoxin is the best DOT in the game, hands down. I don't think anybody's gonna complain about that. And in case you don't know what it does, it scales with max HP. Something like Radiant Erosion scales with defense. Neurotoxin scales with HP, meaning that it kills literally anything, no matter the damage reduction they have, no matter the defense they have, with max stacks in 33 seconds. And since his ultimate lasts 10 seconds, right, and then it also lasts like another 5 seconds, it's 15 seconds. 2 ultimates is enough to almost kill literally anything. That's how strong he is. Now the thing is, this used to be called poison, and Cuke had it, Cutter also had it, and Esme and Dahlia later was supposed to have it, but they reworked poison to suck, and they also wanted to change it to a Liam. However, the community gave such a big backlash that they said, okay, we'll keep it on the worst unit out of the 3, and that's this guy, Liam. Because Cutter, I believe, could also do it on like basic. Yeah, look at this, right? Cutter could also give it with a 15% chance to hit poison, right? That would have been 2 bonkers. The neurotoxin was poison. It's called the old poison, right? Later, they made poison into a new debuff. That is the current poison that sucks. And they made the old poison just available out of any units in the game on Liam, and they called it neurotoxin. So this is the old poison. If you ever see a video of Flush of Realms that is currently as of right now, it is almost March 2025, right? If you see any videos that is like 1 year or older on the title and they're saying poison, they mean the current neurotoxin, right? Okay, now the thing is, right, that sounds bonkers, and it is, right? However, the game kind of nerfed him, and he's still the cheesiest unit in the game. Get this. When the game first released the, the epilogue, the Void epilogue, they made a funny little boss at the end I've already made a video on, and it's called the Tempest Tyrant. For the Tempest Tyrant, you're supposed to drop the strongest fighters you have. I don't care, right? You could cheese it with just dropping Liam, because he literally killed the boss in a minute, right? Literally, you finish the whole stage, because the whole stage requirement is killing the boss and any minions that are left on the ground, right? That's it. You kill the boss before he could spawn any proper minions, and the game was done. He was doing upwards of like 3 million damage a tick, right? And they basically, the game, what it did was patch it, right? Not patch it, kind of like nerf him. And that wasn't nerf the debuff. No. The debuff stayed the same. The debuff is as strong as it used to be. They just gave the bosses a cap of the amount of damage you can receive. The normal enemies don't have it. Not only that, most of the elites also don't have it, right? So what's gonna happen is, for example, I'm using him to cheese and literally blaze through every single stage in the new in the 3 to play challenge, I'm using him to blaze through every single stage because, you know, on chapter 9, you have to have proper magic damage dealers. I don't. I just put a Marie down and put him down, and he's shredding everybody. The thing is, the bosses have a brace against this guy, and it's like a cap of the amount of damage he can actually do, which, for example, for Guild Wars 3, I believe at stage 19, it's like 50,000 or something. So 50,000 tick, it's still insane as a side DPS that is hitting 2 other units simultaneously as well. However, he used to be able to kill bosses, and everybody else also used to be able to kill bosses in like a minute, right? So he used to be absolutely bonkers. They kind of nerfed him in that sense, but he's still the most broken unit in the game. For example, some of the units, some of the stages that our brother Destined is stuck on in Expert can be fixed with this. Destined, if you're watching this, on the Expert campaign, use Liam on that stage that you're stuck on. I have you added as a friend. I know which stage you're stuck on. Use Liam. Next of all, we have rares, and in this case, it's going to be, of course, the great gladiator himself, Decimus. Now, why is Decimus cheesy, right? What makes him good in any way? The thing is, we have some decent, you know, blue units. However, Decimus stands out. Again, I haven't built him properly, as you can see. But let me show you 2 things that make him a funny little guy. He has 3 skills. We're out of the 2 skill zone. We're into the 3 skill zone. There's a basic attack that no one cares about, right? There's also an ultimate, right? That when he's deployed, right, increases attack by 80% when he's deployed, right? Only at the moment the hero is placed. That doesn't matter either. Who cares, right? The important part and the funny part about Decimus is his passive. And another thing that you're gonna see. This passive Defiance when HP drops to 0, so when he dies, the hero remains alive and continues to fight for 8 more seconds. During this time, attack increases by 105, I didn't know that, but the hero will immediately die after the duration ends and cannot be revived. Nobody heals him in this duration, and he cannot be revived by some of the revives, such as, for example, Carnelian or Valkyria. That doesn't matter. What matters is that when his HP sets to 0, an 8-second counter starts, and he doesn't die. He has infinite HP. Infinite HP, and it still blocks units, so he becomes a permanent block for 8 seconds, right? He becomes an irremovable block for 8 seconds, and what you can do is literally wait 7.9 seconds and then pick him up for cost removal, for cost refund. However, the thing is, he's cost 17, but the funny part, redeployment time, 18 seconds. 18 seconds, and there's no catch to it. Let me show you something. Post-production shadow here. I'm not gonna waste your time, so I'm just gonna quickly go through this. I'm gonna show you Damon, or I was gonna show you Damon and Aatrox, that they increase either their cost or redeployment time after a couple of deployments, and I wanted to say that his respawn time is unconditional. So yeah, true. Always 17, always 18 seconds. Doesn't increase it. Not only that, has 8 seconds of anti-death. You can literally use him anywhere. He's so fast at respawning that I literally, for, I don't know, if it was like the mini boss halfway through the chapter 9 in like the Watch of Rose, it's so fun. I sometimes, literally out of fun, I do the boss fight and just cheese it with that. I kid you not, I actually do it. Because it's funny. It's entertaining to me that I can just deploy this guy and catch the boss's big burst. The boss does a nuke, I can catch it with this guy. It doesn't matter what it is, he can tank it. It's stupid. Oh my god, it's amazing. If this guy wasn't in the cheesy list, I would have offed myself. I'm sorry, but I would have not lived in the same plane that people don't consider this guy cheesy as hell. Next, we have probably hands down the cheesiest epic unit out there, and that is Laurel. As you can see, the verdant daughter. I thought it was the daughter of the jungle. Laurel is not only a boss in the campaign, a mini boss, but Laurel is a funny little fairy lady thing. And her kit is entirely broken. And as you can see, I've properly built her, A5, everything, everybody knows Laurel's broken. And she still, for me, has 32k. And that's high. Some of the other people have her in like 18k BP. And that's because her entire kit is tank, and just invigoration. Now why? This is like the common thing that you're going to see, right? These cheesy units don't have crazy damage, right? They don't have crazy like block or stuff, right? They're mostly just units that you deploy. They do something funny with shitty amount of PP. You don't need to even build them. They just exist. And they do funny stuff. You know, that's what cheesy is about. And Laurel kinda sucks if it wasn't for promotion 5. Increases attack rate, who cares? Additionally, upon death or pickup is important, provides surrounding allies with a restoration of 50% of their rage cap upon death, right? This means, if you don't know what rage cap means that, you know, their ultimates, she restores half of it to the 3x3 around her. Everybody gets half their ultimate up. And that's insane, right? But that's only just scratching the surface, right? That's basically just not even there, right? It deals 100% damage. Who cares? This sucks, right? This sucks. Nobody cares about that. This is kind of nice. When the skill is activated, right? When the skill is activated, restores 4% rage for 2 random. It becomes 3 random for A5. 3 random allies within rage every 2 seconds, lasting for 12 seconds. So she's gonna restore 4% for 3 units, right? That is 12%, right? 12% rage total every 2 seconds for 12, so that's 6, right? It was 12, 6, 72% rage total she's gonna restore, right? 72% rage. Now that's not much compared to this. However, that's still something if you want to. But not only is this good, the important part is this funny fellow. Grants damage increase. 20% damage increase for 8 seconds to every ally, to allies whenever they use their ultimates, right? However, this effect won't trigger during her all ultimate, right? So when she ults, that doesn't happen because she's restoring rage. You know, that doesn't make sense if people ult. When people ult, she gives them a 20% damage increase. That is after all the calculations. So if the dude's gonna do 100,000 damage, it's now gonna do 120,000. And you know how Lilia is busted? Lilia gives 25% damage increase after max skinning. She gives 20. She's almost Lilia level. It's actually bonkers. And imagine someone that has a very bursty ultimate. Imagine Sun Wukong, imagine Yobar, that their ultimates are really short, right? She's immediately gonna give it to them. Not only that, you know what's even funnier? If you kind of have like 1 or 2 seconds of time to spare, if you trigger Kigiri, she's gonna give him the damage increase, and then he's gonna trigger his parry. He's gonna get the 20% increase on all the hits that he does. It's insanity, right? Anybody that has a quick bursty ultimate, she's gonna absolutely just knock them out with the amount of damage she's gonna give them. It's actually insane how much you can get away. And there's a reason for that, right? If I go to our guild boss, Jesus Christ. If I go to our guild boss, haven't attacked it yet, right? This doesn't use it. This doesn't use it for some reason. They're using Lilia instead to do what she does. As you can see, there's Laurel there. Actually, it's a lot less than I thought. There's a Laurel skin there. As you can see, they don't even upgrade her to 6 stars. They just put her to 5, and that's it, right? Because after that, it's just stats. Another one here, another one here. They don't use it, they don't have anyone because they're not going with a cycle strat. They have a Laurel here, they have a Laurel here. This is a crime against humanity. They're using Elowen instead. That's bad, right? Laurel is much better than Elowen for Guild Boss 1. They're using a Laurel here. This is what the hell am I even watching? There's another Laurel here. Again, I don't know what the hell, why is a meta on here? There's another Laurel here, Laurel here. If you go to War ranking, they also have it there as well. Most of the time there's Laurel on rank 2. There's another Laurel here. There's another Laurel here. As you can see, Laurel switch is insane. Okay, there's another Laurel here. They're using 11 instead. Another Laurel here. Another Laurel here. If we just go down, you can just always see it, right? And that's not the only thing, right? There's more. There's more to that. Yes, you thought I was done. She is an esotericist, right? Now, why would that matter? You're not gonna get her ultimate out of the thing, right? It matters for the next unit we're gonna get to. And that next unit is gonna be Cyrus. As you can see, I'm looking at him through the gallery, right? And that's because I don't have Cyrus. I could have just went with Ingrid and said she's good, and that's it, right? Ended the video there. But no, I had to be true, and he is indeed the cheesiest. Not the best, by no means he's the best legendary unit in the game. He's the cheesiest, in my opinion, right? And why? Why? Let me tell you. Firstly, for the SO bonus, right? Laurel was an SO. This is an SO as well, right? When an ally is defeated, firstly, it makes the ultimates, the cost reduced by 25%, so you're ulting even more. When an ally is defeated or retreats, increases the damage of the faction team members by 25% for 8 seconds. This effect can be triggered one time every 12 seconds, right? This is important. We're going to get back to that as well. But basically, if you have a Laurel with this guy, and you pick up your Laurel, you're giving every SO 25% damage increase as well. So not only is Laurel, this is like a mix of the two, right, in between. If somebody ults, Laurel gives them a damage bonus. When Laurel is picked up, this guy gives everyone a damage bonus. It's always damage bonus with Laurel, holy shit. But that's not the only thing. No. Let's look at this funny man. Let's max him out. Look at this, 28k HP. That's the same as Broke here, and it's gonna get better. He has 4.2k attack. That's almost the same as Torador. He is an offensive tank, and as you're gonna see, he's extremely offensive. Meaning that you can both use him as a complete tank that out-tanks Broke here, and a damage dealer that out-DPS's Torador, right? Not only that, he is AoE, deals 100% damage to multiple enemies. It doesn't say how many, I think it's 5 or 10 or something. If someone knows, please let me know how much this multiple is, but it's a lot. Okay, let's get this talent, right? Immediately summons one skeleton warrior, right? This is important. This guy has a lot of stats, right? This is basically his summon. He puts down a unit that can block up to one target, right, when he's first deployed. That's going to be important. His summons are going to be his funny thing, right? By the way, this is not going to be a kit reading of Cyrus. We are going to go through his kit, but we're going to do it quickly and say why he's cheesy, right? He summons a skeleton warrior. Doesn't matter, right? Just know skeleton with a lot of stats, right? There's also a skeleton fighter. He can either summon a warrior or a fighter. The warrior has a lot more stats than the fighter. He immediately summons a warrior in front of him. If you get the preview, you're gonna see this is how the warrior looks like, right? It looks like Jorge. As you can see, this one looks like a fighter. It's just bones. This one has armor and stuff, right? So warrior has more stats. That doesn't matter. That doesn't matter at all. On his ultimate, that is 650. After the skill cost is 550. After 25% reduction, it's like 375 or 380 or something, right? It's cheap. It's dirt cheap, right? He increases his damage. He increases his attack speed, right? And summons another skeleton, right? That on A1 can be also a warrior, right? That doesn't matter. Again, doesn't matter. He summons a dude that he can tank with, right? You know, is gonna block units. Unlike some Wukongs, Sage clones, people just walk through them. They can actually tank stuff, and this is the funny part, right? You can make him, face him backwards if you're tanking with him. And what's going to happen is the skeleton is going to be summoned behind him. And this is the reason why they face Cyrus backwards. Because then the summons are going to be behind him. And because of this passive, Lord of the Undead, right? 60% of the after max killing, 60% of the incoming damage will be absorbed by the hero's summons, aka the skeletons, right? When the hero revives and receives a fatal attack, one of the summons will immediately be sacrificed and resist the damage, meaning that this guy is the most efficient way to tank someone like Ma that immediately kills your units, right? Ma literally has an attack that deals an enormous amount of damage. I think it's like 300,000 or something. And it basically kills your units, right? It basically kills your tanks. For him, nah. Hell nah. For him, he will literally just sack his skeleton and still stay alive. Not only that, he only receives 40%. You know Olag's ultimate, right? That he no longer gains shield, but he becomes tanky as hell, right? That is 50% damage reduction. He has 60% when he has bones and he, has bones there. When he receives attack, when he receives hits, right? He's gonna restore 6 rage, right? Not much, but imagine 4 units attacking at once, 24 rage. When he attacks, he also gets 8. When he is attacking multiple, he gets even more, right? He also has a decent, half decent 14. That doesn't matter, right? He's gonna do a lot of ultimates. His ultimate is cheap. His rage unit's nuts, right? He's gonna do a lot of ultimates. Whenever he ult, he gains a fighter. He puts down a skeleton and he resists fatal attack again. It's insane. And when the skeleton HP drops below 50%, he doubles his damage and increases attack speed. What the hell? Like, bro, if you build him tanky, he's gonna resist everything. He has 60% damage reduction. Not only that, right? He can tank, right? He can tank as good as Broke here, right? 60% damage reduction after max skilling, right? Resists every single fatal damage, meaning that Ma has nothing against this guy. Is a lord of the faction, right? Increases damage when the skeletons are about to die. And not only that, this is where it becomes bonkers, man. Look at this action modus. When an ally is defeated or retreats, increases the damage of the faction team members by 25%. I already talked about that on Laurel. The thing is, the summons also count as faction members. How do I know that? Puts Elowen in a SO comp. Doesn't matter who the lord is, even if it's Raven, right? Even if it's Raiden. You can see the wood elf, Elowen summon. Literally, it says Elowen summon. Also get the tag for being an SO, meaning that the summons that can die individual of the unit itself also count as faction members, meaning that whenever a skeleton dies, he also, if he's a faction lord, he's increasing the damage of the team members by 25%. If that's not cheesy, he's not by there's Praetus, there's Ingrid, there's Solkidus, there's Valderon, there's Yovard. All of them are better than him. However, when it comes to being cheesy and absolutely laughable, right? You're gonna laugh because of how OP they are. This guy, you can't top this guy off. It's amazing. Please consider joining our Discord. We have funny talks about this. We go live, we do free takeovers and all of that. Link in the description. And yeah, thank you all for watching. Subscribe if you haven't. Thank you for watching. Hope you have a wonderful day. And yeah, cheers.